Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Monday, September 25th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update. Issues up here with the stream. Here to update and we should be good to go. Looks like there's some connectivity issues here with the stream. Hopefully it doesn't really get in the way, but I want to give you guys a heads up. It looks like it's fine now. I just keep getting a bunch of errors here for some reason. All right, looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. It's good. All right. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. Looks like links posted everywhere already, so we're good to go. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. I'll get started shortly. So, all right, guys, morning, everybody. Looks like people are still joining. Today is Monday, September 25th. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. 6:24 right now, market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start market liquidity over here on the weekly chart. So I'll start with this right here. That level. Looks like we might be getting close to the weekly liquidity here on the bottom end. I think there was some news pre-market today, just one news event. But other than that, I think we're pretty much clear for the rest of the day. All right, going down to the daily time frame. Going down to the 8-hour, right there. Down to the 4-hour time frame. Down to the 2-hour. Good. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30. And it's like we are good to go. 15-minute. Oh, yeah, I just realized I didn't even, yeah. All right, let me go back a little bit, guys. Sorry. Didn't even realize that I forgot to change the color. So let's go back to the 1 hour right here. 1 hour is good. Going over to the 30-minute. It's got to change the color for here, but I don't think these are going to get hit anyway, so it's not really a big deal. 30-minute. 15-minute. 10 minutes. All right, looks like we are good to go. All right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today's Monday, September 25th. It's 6:27 right now. Market's gonna open in about 3 minutes. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Maria. Morning, Karen. Morning, Randy. Ruin, Dan, Kevin, Suk, Daniel, everybody. Good morning, guys. Rashida said daily still has that head and shoulders. Nice. Okay, so good to know. So that's good to know. If that's the case, then price might continue to move in that direction. Yeah, looking at it right here, I can see it setting up. You have the shoulder, the head, and then probably the next part setting up right here as well. So it's not completed yet, but yeah, well, it will probably happen within the next week or so. So good to know, Rashida. Other than that, first level of liquidity is going to be up here at 34,180. This is going to be the first upper level. They're both low level liquidities, guys. So you guys want to be a little careful taking this entry. Again, Monday is like one of the riskier days to trade. So you want to be a little careful with your entries with regard to that as well. Anyways, we have them right here marked up. I don't think they're going to get hit pre-market. They might not, but for the most part, you guys know where these levels are. Lower level is going to be at 34,087. Upper level is going to be at 34,180. So again, upper level at 34,180, lower level at 34,087. That's liquidity right there. Looking over here on the main chart, we currently have, let's see, we have a pending sell momentum. So if that's the case, you might be looking for a sell here for the breakout. The market kind of moved a little crazy here again pre-market. So I mean, we'll see what happens here. A lot of crazy movement. We had some news over here at 5:30. So I'm gonna go and mark that up real quick. Right here on that candle. So we had news right there at 5:30. That news at 5:30 was the Chicago Fed National Activity Index. It was medium negative impact. Price went in its direction. So the news happened right there at 5:30, and then it came down right after. So it went where it was supposed to go. And now, we'll see what happens in the next couple minutes as market continues to move along. One thing that I looked at over the weekend too, guys, so I did some more back testing. I back tested basically the first intraday scalp entry. It was pretty good, as a 73% win rate, pretty much mostly wins. Base it off the ATR. If you guys are not familiar with the intraday scalp, this is the very first strategy that I've introduced to you guys. I came back to it because this is a strategy that Kip has been using, and he's been pretty much on the top leaderboard of True Forex funds like pretty much every month. So basically for that strategy, I'm looking for the first momentum signal to match the trend meter down below. That's basically what I'm looking for. The ATR is going to be, the TP stop loss is going to be based off the ATR. So like whatever the ATR is, like right now it's currently at 12. It would be at 12.12. Sometimes that'd be considered a little too tight. So I think the minimum would be like 150, but it's up to preference. So I'll go over that a little later once we have some free time, but the market is now open. But again, that's going to be probably one of the strategies I'll be testing. I've been testing a lot of our older strategies just as first entry on open, and they've been working pretty well. So I think that's pretty good. That was like one of my ideas before. I was like, okay, I'll put together like the highest probability strategies and then see how they continue if you take them basically the first one on open. So we're looking at this right here, guys, for the breakout V2. If we get two green candles here, then this will technically be the breakout V2. Sorry, guys, I might be getting a cold because of this. Our switch to the fall season. All right, so if you get one more green candle, this is technically going to be the breakout V2 entry. So if you guys are looking to take it, we currently have a bullish momentum right here. Market open right here at 6:30. We have one green candle. If there's another green candle that comes up, this will technically be the breakout V2 entry. There's about 30 seconds left on this candle right here. You have to make sure that it actually closes. If it doesn't close, then obviously you got to wait for it to provide that confirmation. So we got 20 seconds left on this candle here. Does not look like we're going to get another green candle there. I mean, we'll see what happens, but there's about 10 seconds left on this candle. So in order for it to be the breakout V2, there needs to be 2 green candles. And it's not closing green. So there's no entry right there for the breakout V2. Let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at. So let me go over here and put up today's overall bias. So for retail sentiment, let's take a look real quick. Retail sentiment over here is currently at 54% short. So it's pretty much neutral right now. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I want to refresh this. It's pretty neutral as well. Looking over here at the technicals, short term is neutral, long term is bearish. So looking at this over here, retail sentiment is currently neutral at 54% long. Fundamental bias is neutral at negative 60 points. Short-term technicals is neutral. Long-term technicals is bearish. So we don't really have much of an overall bias for today. I mean, it's pretty mixed. So again, right here, we have 1 green candle. If we have a second green candle, that's technically going to be the breakout V2. The ATR is starting to pick up a little bit over here. So it's starting to look a little decent. But yeah, so we have that setting up right now for the breakout V2. But it does not look like it's going to close with the green candle. So we don't have 2 green candles right here. There's no breakout V2. If this red momentum signal here closes, this is going to be a setup for the intraday scalp that I was just mentioning earlier. It has to close with the red candle within it though. So red candle with the red sell signal. Trend meter down below is already red, or it's changing between blue and red. So if it stays red and it closes red, then this will technically be an entry for the intraday scalp. The ATR is currently at 15, so that's where it's going to be set at. So something to look out for over here. So if you guys know, the very first strategy that we started to apply was this one right here. You're basically just looking for a momentum signal, a valid momentum signal, meaning red momentum with the red candle and matching the trend meter down below. So if this closes right here, it's going to be set up as a and it doesn't look like we're going to get a sell momentum there. No. So if the sell momentum there does close, like we get a red candle with the sell momentum and it matches the trend meter, obviously the trend meter down below is red. This will be an entry for the intraday scalp. A lot of back and forth moving. Yeah, Van Harwick said it's playing with us. Yeah. It looked like it was going to close. It was down there pretty solid and then it came right back up. So you guys can see the market's a little bit jumpy right now. This is normal for Mondays. So if you guys are not familiar with how the market moves on Mondays and Fridays, it typically moves a little jumpy on Monday because people are entering the market from the weekend. So you get a lot of these orders filling in. People are buying back into the market. Price is shooting right back up. And then Friday, price is like jumping around as well because people are exiting the market. So there's no smooth direction right now. It's kind of just going back and forth. We still have a bullish momentum here. So if we get 2 green candles, that's technically the breakout V2. And then if we get a sell momentum matching the trend meter, then it's going to be a intraday scalp. So if you guys are just joining the room, I mentioned that I did a lot of testing over the weekend. I tested that old strategy, the intraday scalp, has a 73.33% win rate, 11 wins, 4 losses, total profit of 1,050. It's a 1-to-1 strategy. Basically, I'm looking for the first intraday scalp on open. So after 6:30, what I've been doing is I've been putting together like the highest probability strategies, and I've been looking for the first entry, on open. So that's basically what I'm looking for here. I'm just testing a lot of these older strategies that we've applied in the past, like the strategies that have been hitting very often, and trying to put together something. Because if you can focus on, like, if you're just focusing on 1 or 2 good entries a day, you just focus on these high probability strategies, and then you just take, you know, one or two of them each day. So like the breakout V2, intraday scalp, high-low momentum scalp. I also tested the high-low momentum scalp as well. So high-low momentum scalp also has a 69% win rate. Anything above 50 is solid because these are one-to-one strategies. So if you're doing a one-to-one strategy, then you're going to end up in profit. As long as you're above a 50% win rate, you're going to be in profit at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, etc. So the ATR has picked up a bit. It's now at 18. So if we get a sell signal here, technically an entry for the or 19, actually, it's picking up a little bit. An entry for the intraday scalp. The one criteria that I'm looking at here is that if the candle is bigger than 300 pips, then it's a skip. So if it's more than 300 pips, like if it drops more than where it's currently at, then it's a skip. This is just too big of a candle from where it's currently at. So it looks like this might, or it could be an entry. Let's see. ETR was at 19. There, it looks like it is currently coming down. Now I had to manually close out of it, guys. I didn't like how it was, like, my entry wasn't so great. So I closed this in. I mean, I'm still trying to test this out right here. I'll call it right here. I had to close it out manually, guys. It's probably gonna hit TP, but I closed it out manually because my entry was so off because of the spread. The spread was like at 190, and it actually entered me like down here. So I didn't want to hold on to it because I don't want to get caught in the spread. So I'm testing out the strategy here, guys. I've been testing out a lot of other strategies. We have like 2 main strategies that we're still applying, which would be the breakout V2 and the momentum pullback scalp. This is another one that I'm testing because it has such a high win rate. I tested this over the weekend. It has 73.33% win rate. It's a one-to-one strategy, so it's good. As long as it's above 50%, you're going to be up in profit over the week or the month, etc. So it's still running right now, but I had to pull out. So I locked in. Let me check my accounts real quick. I locked in, let's see, 2,000 on my other accounts. I locked in about 1,000 basically. I locked in basically 100 pips. The TP was set at 18 or 1,800 or whatever it is, 18 points. The ATR is kind of shifting a little bit. We'll keep following it because I'm still documenting this trade as well. I'm just documenting a lot of these trades so that we have the data here. I'll add a spreadsheet to the Discord. As you guys see, I have documentation of like everything that we're applying. So this is going to be very beneficial for us moving forward as we continue to figure out, what strategies are going to use during the fall season, because the fall season, the volatility is going to pick up and it's going to be very lucrative figuring out what works well. So for this right here, you guys can see the market was kind of moving kind of crazy here again, pre-market. It's the same issue that we've had with the breakout V2. So I'm going to see if this plays through. If it doesn't play through, I'm going to document it. All right, the ATR for this was 19. This, I'm glad I pulled out early. Again, this is a strategy that we're just barely testing. It was at 20. So I'm glad I pulled out early because of the crazy movement right here. Whenever you see this crazy movement pre-market, I mean, it typically happens on Mondays and Fridays. It just makes every strategy that you apply a bit iffy because there's a lot of fake outs and a lot of back and forth movement. So I wouldn't be surprised if this just fakes out, triggers that, and then it comes right back down, because that's typically what happens here. And you just got to be a little more conservative on Mondays and Fridays. So let me go ahead and just copy this real quick. I'll add this to the spreadsheet. Looks like this just literally got triggered and it's going to come right back down. But I'm going to take that off. It's not an official entry. It's just one of the entries that we're testing. I'm going to be testing a lot of stuff like within the next couple of weeks, because we have the fall season coming up and the volatility is going to pick up. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us to take entries here. The breakout V2 still technically has not come yet. So if we get 2 red candles, the breakout V2 will be coming up next. So let me go over here and just put this in real quick. Just delete this. Actually, I'll just leave that there. I'm using this to test something else as well. Trade scalp. Today is the 25th. All right, so there's no two red candles there. I mean, if there's one more red candle, this is technically going to be the setup for the breakout V2. But again, as you guys can see, the market is moving not very strict. It's not moving very direct. This could be a continuation down to the bottom. Let's see if liquidity got hit earlier. Liquidity still hasn't gotten hit yet. So price may be making its way down to that lower level of liquidity right there. And it may come through from where it's currently at. So we got about 20 seconds until then. All right, it's really iffy with how price is moving. I don't know if this candle is going to close red. You have to wait for it to actually close. I don't know if I'm going to take this one right here, guys, because it's not really moving consistently. You want price to be moving a bit more consistent from how it's currently moving. So this right here is technically the breakout V2, guys. I didn't take it. I'll follow in. I'll see where it goes. There's just not, again, like I mentioned before, when the market moves like this very crazy pre-market or before the entry, you want to be careful and probably just not take the entry, because from what we've documented, if you guys look at all the breakout V2s, whenever it loses, it's only when this stuff's happening, this craziness right here. It looks like the volatility is starting to pick up a lot. So that now that the volatility is higher, we might have to adjust our TP stop loss, because I think 25.25 is a little too tight. We might have to shift it to like maybe 30.30, or maybe even like 35.35, or even like if it's very volatile, 50.50. Because the original strategy was 50.50. You need to have a range there to pretty much catch the back and forth movement as price decides to, obviously make its way back down. I think price eventually will make its way back down because the technicals here are all bearish. It's just you get a lot of this manipulation on these lower time frames. So on the 1 minute over here, you can see the manipulation to the upside, but you can see over here on the 5 minute, 10 minute, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute time frame that it's still bearish. So price is destined to come down. It's just right now on the 1 minute, it's kind of bouncing back and forth. So I didn't take that breakout V2. I mean, I'm still following it because we're still documenting the trade, but I'm not going to take it. It's just up to you guys how you guys want to take it. Also, William over here mentioned that the momentum counter scalp just hit. There's a lot of conflicting entries here. So there was a momentum counter scalp right here. You can see the sell signal. There's 2 green candles, and this actually would have been the entry for the momentum counter scalp going the opposite direction. So I think today's like one of those days where you kind of want to feel out the market, because this is the first official week of fall. So the volatility is picking up a lot, as you guys can see. The ETR is now at 19, and it's consistently around 19.20. So with that said, I think it's better to just feel out the market earlier in the week, because typically this will show you what's going to happen moving forward. So if we get this crazy back and forth movement today, this is probably what's going to happen over the next couple of days. And this will show you whether there's going to be a lot of fake outs today or this week, or whether it's going to be a smooth move. Today, the market's not smooth at all. So probably expect a lot of fake outs, moving forward for this trading week, at least. For this week so far, I think there's news. I think Fed Chair Powell is going to be speaking. Let me check. Yeah, so for tomorrow, we have a lot of high impact news. We have new home sales, CB consumer confidence, S&P case Shiller home price index. So we have this over here. Basically, a lot of housing news. It's going to time with inflation. We have durable goods orders. Basically all inflation news. So we have a lot of inflation news coming up over here for the week. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. Fed's going to be speaking as well. And then on Friday, we're going to have a lot of other news too. So there's just a lot of, and I think Powell's speaking this week too. On Friday, we have Fed Williams speaking. Powell's going to speak on Thursday with Fed Cook. Yeah, so basically a bunch of inflation news here. Housing news, inflation news, and then it's going to tie in with the Fed speaking later this week. So, buckle in, guys. It's going to be a lot of crazy movements happening throughout the week. So I didn't take any of these entries here. The only entry I took was the first one, which is the first intraday scalp entry. It looks like a lot of you guys here took it with me, so I'll post my profits for that in a bit. But looking over here at this is just no official entry. So we took that entry earlier. I'm not going to count that as an official entry because we're still testing that. The only official entries that we're taking here would be the breakout V2 if I'm taking it, and then the momentum pullback scalp. So I got a couple of strategies here to document. The first one would be this one that I just marked up right now, which was the intraday scalp. I think the ATR at that time was, let me check real quick. ATR was 20. All right, so everything's kind of lined up here already. Choppy movement on open pre-entry. So I'll put the documentation right there for that. The next documentation we're going to put up is going to be the momentum counter scalp, because that's the first one that came up right here. So the momentum counter scalp happened at this green candle right there. So for the momentum counter scalp, this one did hit CP. So market open over here at 6:30. We got the first momentum signal here, two opposite candles, green right here. Entry would have happened on that candle. There's some drawdown, and then went straight to TP right after. So I'm going to go and market, document this. And we're just going to keep documenting these trades because these trades are going to provide us an outlook as to like what to use over the next couple of months, because the volatility is picking up. So we have to decide, what two strategies are we going to focus on? And it's like this is going to be one of them, possibly. All right, so 9:25, 23. The entry happened at, let's see, entry happened at 6:41. Time's fine, 6:42. All right, so the win rate for the momentum counter scalp is actually going up pretty decent. It's now at an 86.36 win rate. So it's looking pretty solid for the most part. Looking over here at the breakout V2, this here didn't play through, it looks like. 9:25, 23. The entry happened here. At 6:43. $6.43. So the breakout V2 is not looking the best, but I mean it's still working for the most part. It's just there's a lot of the stuff that we started to notice from the past, when to avoid trades, has been helping us. So I haven't taken a lot of these trades right here because of the the crazy movement pre-market. So this right here was for a sell. So the win rate for the breakout V2 is currently at a 57.14% win rate. It's currently in the losing streak. Thankfully, we haven't taken a lot of these trades. I think we've only taken one of them. If we skipped today's because of that movement pre-market. If anything, we might have to adjust the TP stop loss because the volatility is starting to pick up right now. Looking over here at the momentum counter scalp, this is actually doing pretty good. It's currently at 86% win rate. No trades for today so far. I did take a trade and I did make profit, but I'm not going to count it as an official trade because that was one of the tester trades that we were taking over here for the intraday scalp. I mean, there's not very much of a direction. So you guys can't really see here. It looks like price is going back and forth, but looking over here on the clean chart, let me go and just mark this up so that you guys can see things a lot better. There just isn't much direction here. So opening candle was right here, this green candle. So right now it's better to be patient and just wait for price or for the entry to come to you, because right now there's just not very much of a direction. So market open right here at 6:30, 8 o'clock. So you guys can see from the clean chart, price hasn't really gone anywhere. Market opened right here at 6:30, came up, faked out, came back below, faked out, came back up, faked out. Now it's back in the middle. So it's pretty much like it didn't go anywhere. It's back at that blue line where market opened. Looking over here, I'll mark up some structure so that you guys can see where price is kind of bouncing from. So we got the higher high right there. And we got the lower low right here. So I'll take that off. And as you guys can see, there's no direction here. There's some volatility. Price is kind of just whipsawing back and forth. So like it doesn't really matter which direction you're trading in. You're going to get stopped out in either direction. If you're chasing the buy, you would have gone stopped out. If you chase the sell, you would have gone stopped out. Chase the buy again here, you again would have gone stopped out because price would have pulled right back to open. So as you guys can see, price pretty much just pushes away, fakes out, comes right back to opening price. So I wouldn't be surprised if price bounces off this area and comes right back down, or price can break above it, fake out from there and come back down, right? So right now is just a good time to sit tight and wait for market to really push its direction. There's no direction right now, as you guys can see. It's just going back and forth. There's no need to force anything, because if you force something, it's probably just going to go right back in your opposite direction. Liquidity here still hasn't been hit. So if you guys can see over here, I drew up liquidity here pre-market. We were expecting it to maybe hit on open, but still has not hit either direction. So back and forth right there. It's best to just sit out and wait. There's just nothing for us to take right now, specifically. So let me see. So there's another strategy, the high-low momentum scalp. So a lot of you guys like to take this high-low momentum scalp strategy. I've been testing it for the first entry on open, and it's been pretty good. It has a 69% win rate. It's not super great like the intraday scalp, but for the high-low momentum scalp, it's pretty decent too. All these strategies, basically, if you take the first entry on open and they hit, like there's going to be days where all of them hit, and they're all for a 1-to-1. So if you're doing like a 1.5% risk, you have that equal risk on both sides, and you can basically lock in like 4.5% per day if they all hit. So I'm testing a lot of these strategies here. Let me see if there's another one that came up here. So there's a higher high, sell signal, didn't play through. Lower low, buy signal is already above, so it didn't play through either. There's no high-low momentum scalp just yet. Also, Maddie over here just mentioned, so there was a CNBC update as soon as the breakout V2 came out. So this might have manipulated the market a little bit. There's just a lot of stuff going on today. So if you guys look on CNBC, there was an update over here. It said 5 things to know before the stock market opens on Monday. So cloudy days in September, so stocks are sliding. Just a lot of like uncertainty in the market right here. I think this is the biggest thing. If you guys saw the shutdowns in the government, we had this happen like a couple, I think last year, when the government shutdown happened. I think last year and the year before that, there's just a lot of uncertainty. So this is going on too. The government shutdowns that may be imminent. The Hollywood Writers Guild, they have that going on too. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the market, guys, that's causing a lot of uncertainty. So right now it's a good time to just sit tight and wait for the market to stabilize. Once it stabilizes and it chooses the direction, you can start looking for trades. So again, right here, as I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if price bounces off here and comes right back to open. There's just no direction. You want to wait for price to push away from where it's currently at. So you want it to push above and climb higher, or you want it to push below and climb lower, right? It doesn't matter where it goes. We just want it to go somewhere. So realistically, this whole area right here is not a good area to be trading in. A lot of fake outs happening. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if price comes up above this area right here and then fakes out, right? Comes up right there, kind of consolidates, comes right back down. It's nothing new. Like these patterns here are repeating patterns. They just happen over and over again. It's just really understanding to being able to identify them, because a lot of people can't identify these fake outs happening. But I can already see that there's probably either going to be a bounce to the downside here, or price may push up a little bit and fake out a little bit up here. And obviously we're not going to get caught in that fake out because we already know what's going to happen. So yeah, just got to wait, guys, be patient. There's still opportunity for a high level momentum scalp entry here. The first one still hasn't came up yet. So possibility of a high level momentum scalp. And then from there, another strategy that I might be testing too might be like V1 variations. So like V1s without using like the overall bias. Because if you're just looking for the first one on open, looks like there was a V1 variation. See market open right here. Maybe a V1 variation right here. Yeah, actually there's a V1 right here. So the first V1 that came up on open, market open at 630. This is the first double wick projection right there. If you would have taken that V1 variation, that would have been a full TP. So a lot of these strategies, I'm more focused on these time-based strategies because I don't like trading after 8 o'clock. So if I can find strategies that hit between 6:30 and 8, and there's just like one entry that I'm looking for, 2 entries, it's going to increase my profitability, because I'm just taking 2 trades a day and they all hit, or they mostly hit, and they're all 1-to-1. Eventually at the end of the week, it's going to be in profit no matter what, because these win rates here are very high. So you don't typically go on like long losing streaks. You might have like 1 or 2 losses, and then it just continues to snowball effect. So I'm trying to trade, like every year we get better and better at trading smarter. So that's like one thing that I talked about with one of the members here in the group. He mentioned that like the thing that makes me stand out from other traders is that I'm good at identifying when to avoid a trade. It's I think that's a skill that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people, you'll see a lot of people who trade and they're good at catching like big moves, but they're not good at avoiding losses. So like, yeah, they'll catch those big moves, and then they have like a ton of losses, but they don't show the losses. So if you ever look at like other people who trade, I don't know anybody who trades live like me every single day, like trades live with like how I do Monday through Friday. You'll see a lot of people who trade a lot, but they only trade like once a week, and then that specific day they have wins, of course, right? They don't show like the Mondays and Fridays that are like choppy, and then they blow their accounts because they're not able to control the losses. I think the better skill of trading, if you want to be a consistent trader, is really just controlling the losses. Managing the trades, understanding when the trade's risky, and only taking the high quality entries. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said they take, like a lot of other people just take every trade that comes up. And the thing is, you can't do that because there's no guarantee with taking those types of entries. I mean, it doesn't matter how high your risk reward is. Even if your risk reward is like 5-to-1, I see a lot of people who like to trade and they have a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? And they always tell people like, yeah, you can lose 5 times before being in loss. But the thing is, those people lose like 10 times. So they're like, it sounds good and it looks good until you lose 5 times. Once you lose 5 times, you're like, okay, what now? And it's just, it's not really worth it, guys. Risk reward for me personally, I don't trade for risk reward. I trade for wins. Like I trade for win rate. You can either be a risk reward trader, or you can be a win rate trader. If you can have a high win rate, you can do a 1-to-1, you can do a negative risk reward. But if you're doing a high risk reward, you have to have at least a decent win rate. It's crazy to see how like some people like they fall for that all the time, and it's like it doesn't work if you do it properly, but not if you don't know how to avoid trades. So just keep that in mind, guys. Moving forward, my trading style is very different compared to everybody else, but the way that I trade works, and that's the main thing that matters, right? If it works, then great. If it doesn't, then you have to make some adjustments. So, all right, let me just take a screenshot of my profits for the day so far. Take my profits for the day, the week, and the month so far. So I'll continue to screenshot my entire profits for the month of September. I don't know if I want to keep doing this like for the rest of the year. It's just a lot of work for me to keep screenshotting the entire month. But you guys will see here, the proof is in my profits, really. My profits in the live sessions, because all these live sessions are recorded. So if you ever want to go back and see how I did for the month of September, and September is actually not a good month for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people do horribly this month. So all of these trades have been documented. I've only been trading on the live sessions. I don't really trade outside. So here are my profits for the day so far. So for my first account, blocking 850 off that first trade, blocking 1,110 on my FTMO, 1,110 on my second FTMO, 1,110 on the third account. And then for my 200K account locked in 2020, this is my second funded engineer account locked in 420. This is my personal account locked in 345, second personal account 345. This is my TFF 966 on the second account. So my profits for the day, my profits for the week, my profits for the month. If you guys have been trading with me for the entire month of September, I've been as transparent as I can possibly be. I showed you every trade. We traded everything live. I told you when I pulled out of trades early. I showed you losses, and all my profits here for the month so far have added up. So that was my goal in showing you guys these screenshots here, are basically my profits for the month. I typically don't show the month because I'm not here to show off. I just want to show you guys that it's possible if you're consistent. These are pretty much from all the trades during the live session for this entire month of September. Like if you literally took every trade I took during September and you followed, my lead, and you exited when I said to pull out early, like when I did, then that's how much profit you should be in. You should be, there should be no excuse for you to not be in profit if you only took a trade in the live session. So I want you guys to understand that if you guys follow directions and you guys just do what you need to do, you should be in profit. Because this here is going to show you, if you add all this up, it's going to add up to a lot of profit. I typically don't even look at the monthly because my main goal here is to win. So my main goal is to win trades. I don't care about profits. At the end of the month, I'll add up the profits and I'm like, okay, I made this much profit, but I wouldn't really realize it until I actually have locked it in. So there's a high-low momentum scalp right here, guys. I don't think I would take this because the candle's too big. Actually, the candle's fine. It's not that bad. It's, let me see. Yeah, because you're supposed to base it off the ATR. ATR is 27. So this entry here is actually not horrible. The candle looks kind of big, but it's not really that bad. If you guys are looking to take the high-low momentum scalp. Again, this is kind of an iffy entry because of how the market's moving. I'll follow it. I don't really feel comfortable taking it. Also, because the candle doesn't look big compared to the others, but I think this year will probably play through. It's just too big of a move. Typically, our high-low momentum scalp is like 100 pips. I'm used to taking it with a smaller range too. So if you look over here from my data, the high-low momentum scalps are typically like at like 150. They're like below 200 pips. There's like one here that hit 200 pips, but typically they're like below 200 pips. So I think this here is still a little too big. I might have to make some adjustments as to like what the biggest candle can be. But generally the one that would be skipped is if it's above 300. So if it was this far back, I would skip it. But this is probably the biggest high-low momentum scalp I've seen from my testing. So again, this is why this testing here is useful to you guys, because this testing is going to help you guys understand, okay, when do I avoid trades, right? Do I avoid it when the candle's too big? And how big is too big, right? Is 300 too big? Is 200 too big? Is 250 too big? I mean, it just depends on like how the movement is present. But a lot of this data is pulled from low volatility market. So from September 4th up until today, September 25th, this is basically the volatility. It was low volatility. And now that the volatility is higher, there might have to be some adjustments to the TP stop loss. So we'll continue to follow through over here and we'll see if these entries come up. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to mark up the price points. It's 7:05 right now, so we may be able to look for some momentum pullback scalps. It's just the volatility right here is just a little crazy, and I'm trying to be as careful as possible. That's what I'm trying to do, guys, because I don't want to lead you guys in the wrong direction and take any risky trades. That's probably the opposite of what I do. I try to give you guys the most probable trades so that there's no mistakes. 160, 50, 30, 27. All right, so I got the zones right there marked up. The high-low momentum scalp is still technically running right now. The candle again is pretty huge. There's also a red flag here. So looking at this right here, it was right at news price, the pink line. So that would have been, actually, this would have been one that should have been skipped because of the red flag there. Price is drawing back. But what I'll do here is I'll still document this. Even though I'm not taking these trades, I'll still document it so that we know in the future Maybe this candle is too big. Instead of going for a 30-point max, maybe a 25-point max might be better. So, it's all trial and error with identifying these entries here. I'm not in this entry though, so I don't really have a stake in it. I'm just documenting it so that we can put it here on our spreadsheet, and then we can understand, okay, in the future, maybe if it's higher than 25 points, then we avoid it, right? That's kind of how I've been documenting everything here too. Like I take notes on like all the trades that lose basically. And from there, we can determine, what are we going to avoid moving forward. Other than this, the momentum pullback scalp, I think, is still fine. So we're still using the momentum pullback scalp as one of the official entries. This trade is still running. It's been running for quite some time now. If price does swing back to the upside, then we may have opportunity for a possible buy here. So it's going to conflict with this specific entry that's currently running, because we currently have a bullish momentum right now. So here, I'm going to take this off. I don't want there to be confusion. What I'll do here is I'll just mark this up so that, because we're still technically looking for a momentum pullback scalp, that's going to be our official entry. What I'll do here is I'll just mark this up. I'll put it in the spreadsheet so that I can come back to it a little later. But we're actually looking for a buy here. So looking at the momentum pullback scalp, the reason why we're looking for a buy is because we have a bullish trend. You can see price is slightly above the pivots where it was. The trend meter down below is green. The pivots are angling. They were angling up. Now they're angling down. But right now we're still technically looking for a buy. If we get a buy signal here, it's going to be an entry for a momentum pullback scalp. If we don't and price comes back down lower, then that's completely fine. We can wait for the trend to shift. And once the trend shifts, we can start looking for a sell. But yeah, for right now at the moment, we just don't have any entries that are currently available. There was actually one momentum pullback scalp that came up right here and it already hit TP. So we had a buy signal here, trend was bullish, price pushed up, retraced right here, entry would have happened here and would have been a full TP. So if you guys were looking for this entry right here, this happened a little early at 658. And this was the first momentum pullback scalp that played through and it went straight to full TP. Maria said the high-low momentum just hit. Let me see if I can mark that up. Yeah, so depending on which high-low momentum you were applying, guys, if you're applying the original, looks like the original entry would have already hit right there. For me, I'm testing out the 1-to-1 version of it. So for the 1-to-1, it's still technically running right now. I think it was 27.27. Yeah, so for the 1-to-1 type entry, it's still running, but if you're taking the original high-low momentum scalp, it already hit full TP. So if you're only going for 100 pips, applying the original strategy, it went down, went straight to TP right there already. The other entry is still technically running. So I'll have to come back and review that once it comes time. If not, then, so I think this here might come down. You guys can see the pivots here are starting to shift. If this red pivot shifts above all the other pivots, then we're going to be in a bearish trend. And then from there, we'll start looking for some possible sells. But right now, we're either looking for a buy signal to confirm the correction to the upside, or we're looking for price to continue climbing down further. Doesn't really matter to us. We'll take trades in either direction, but we're just waiting for that confirmation. So looking over here at the clean chart, you guys can see the fake out that I warned you guys about earlier. I said price is probably going to push up, fake out, and come right back down to open, right? That's exactly what happened. So I'm not no wizard, guys. Like, it's not like I predicted this to happen. It's like this pattern has played out so many times that I already knew this was going to play out. So I mean, whenever people like predict this stuff, they try to seem like they know everything, but realistically, I didn't even know this was going to happen. I said this was a possibility and it did happen, right? So for me, I don't really like to predict the market. I like to just have ideas. I like to have scenarios. And this is pretty much what I said was going to play out, right? I said price was going to come up. It was either going to fake out and come down from here, or it's going to push up higher and fake out from up here, but then come right back to opening price, which is exactly what happened. Whenever you guys analyze the charts, you should always have multiple scenarios, right? Best case scenario. So best case scenario is this happens, right? Worst case scenario is you're wrong and price continues to climb from this point here. So I never like to have like just one view. Whenever I'm analyzing something, I have two views so that I have like that that thought in the back of my head, like, okay, if I take this trade and I lose, then what is the other scenario? So thankfully the scenario played out. I don't know if anybody took a trade off that analysis, but a lot of you guys tend to do that. So that's why I give my analysis, because not everybody here trades the same way I do. So whenever I give you guys my analysis, you guys can either, it'll fall in your favor or it's going to fall in the against your favor, like how I'm analyzing it. So if you guys saw this playing out, like I mentioned earlier right here, if you guys saw this playing out and you guys listened to my analysis, you probably would have taken the trade, right? Because you already knew price, you had a feeling price was going to come down. And since I confirmed it, you probably took the trade yourself. So yeah, you guys don't have to trade the way that I trade. You guys can just use my analysis and trade your own style. If you have your own style, use my analysis. If it lines up with yours, then, take the trade. It's probably going to play out. But anyways, back to the chart over here, we currently have a buy signal that's pending. If this buy signal right here closes, then we may be able to look for momentum pullback scalp in the direction to the upside. So if we get a buy signal right here and it closes, we'll look for price to continue climbing. And then we'll look for the entry as price gets to that point. Anyways, let's take a look at everybody else's profits. So I think there's a couple more profits here to look at. So I think Patricia sent in her profits. So Patricia right here, she took the V2 at open, total profit of 1,603 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. Yeah, solid profits right there. So solid profits there. I'll post up my profits over here as well. So here are my profits for the day. We got some more team profits here. So here's Barty. Congrats to Barty. He just got funded on the funded trader. So nice work right there. So for the day, Barty's currently up 2,000. And then his other account, he's up 3,190 for the day. Nice work, Barty. So solid profits right there. And congrats on getting funded with the funded trader. And we have Patricia's profits right here as well. Total profit of 1,603. All right, so that buy signal never closed, guys. We're still looking for that buy signal. Trend here is obviously bullish. We're looking for a buy signal. Once we get the buy signal, we can start looking for a possible buy. But right now, we just don't have that yet. So we just got to hold on and wait for something here to come up. Yeah, William said having the first win for him and making 500 on a Monday makes me not interested in taking more risky trades after it was just successful. Yeah, exactly, William. So like William said over here too in the Zoom, he mentioned that when he takes his first trade and he's in profit, it makes him more conservative with the trades that he decides to take. And I think once you get to a level where you can trade that way with every entry, not just the first entry, you'll find more consistency, William. Because the thing is, you should be thinking like that for every single trade, right? You should be not interested in taking risky trades altogether. But that's a good start. So William already has profit for the week because he took that first trade that we took earlier this morning, made profit on it. And now he doesn't feel the stress to take another trade. I feel like a lot of people feel the stress of forcing a trade, and that's why they want to take every single trade that comes up. But if you guys have the ability to control your emotions and not take every single trade and just take the quality entries, then you pretty much just set yourself up. You set yourself up for success. Because the thing is, if I add up my profits over here, so let's just add them up real quick because we have some downtime. We're looking for the buy signal here. Once we get the buy signal, we can look for an entry. But since there's no buy signal yet, we'll just take a look at this here. So my profits for the day so far, 850 plus 1,100 plus 1,100 plus 1,100 plus 2020 plus 420 plus 345 plus 345 plus 966 plus 966. All right, so I took that one trade this morning on total profit of 9,212 for the day. So that's how much profit I have for the day and how much profit I have for the week. Today's Monday, so there's only one trade I took for this week so far. For the month so far, I'm currently at 10,970, 12,170, 11,810, 12,470, 18,679, 5,205, 810 off my personal, 3588 on my second personal, 11,700 on my TFF, and 11,543 on my second TFF. So I'm almost at the 100K, guys, for the month so far. I didn't even realize I did so well for this month so far. It just added up, right? So I don't really look at my profits. I focus on winning the trade. So even if you have to pull out of the trade early, guys, because the market is moving kind of like choppy and all over the place, it's better to pull out for partial profit and feel comfortable about the position rather than holding it and then watching it go to stop loss when you knew you should have pulled out in profit. So if you guys followed me throughout the month of September, all trades are documented. We even have the spreadsheet over here. So here's a spreadsheet for the week, for the month so far. So currently for the month so far, we have 14 wins, 4 losses, total profit of 1,350 pips, total win-loss ratio of 78.9%. If you guys took every trade from September 1st up until September 22nd, I took one trade today, but I'm not counting it, of course, because it's not an official entry. It's just a trade that I took, testing out the other intraday scalp. But for the month so far, that's currently where I'm at. You guys can see all my accounts here, and these are my profits for the day. So for the day, I'm up 9,212. For the month, I'm up 98,945. So just another reminder, guys, I'm only getting paid out on 4 of these accounts. I'm only getting paid out on these FTMO accounts right here. This is in its challenge phase. I'm probably going to pass the challenge this like pretty soon because I'm at the goal already. These are my 2 personal accounts. So basically these 6 accounts right here, these accounts right here, my FTMO, I'm getting paid out on that. And then these are my 2 personal accounts right here. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 accounts right here, I'm getting paid out. These are in challenge phase right now. So funded engineer challenge phase, funded engineer challenge phase, TFF right here, challenge phase. I'm like way above the limit. So I think I've probably passed those too. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I just want to be transparent with you guys. So like, if you guys, I don't know how to make it any more clear than I already have. If you guys stick to these live sessions and only take the trades we take on these live sessions, there's like, it's impossible for you not to be profitable. The only way people don't profit is they make profit with us here in the live session, or they take a lot of trades where I say not to take them. If I say, okay, this trade's risky, don't take it, I'm not going to take it, they still take it, right? And what happens? They lose. So just stick to the game plan, guys. If I tell you I'm taking the trade, it's going to be a good trade for the most part, or it should be. And if you guys just take those trades there, it should be inevitable that you guys are making profit. So, I'll try to be as clear as possible, and I'll try to give you guys as much of a heads up as I can, but there's only so much I can do with giving you guys a heads up. You guys have to actually understand what's going on here. Looking at liquidity, guys, looks like the upper liquidity got hit. I don't know if anybody took that upper liquidity, got hit, didn't even play out. So first level liquidity here didn't play out. Looks like price might be coming down over here. I didn't take any of these trades though. For these liquidity trades here, guys, as you guys know, I don't take these standalone. I usually use this as a confluence. A lot of people like to take them by themselves, but for me personally, I only take them as a confluence. So if I'm looking for a trade that's coming down, like for example, if we're looking for a sell right here for a momentum counter scalp or a momentum pullback scalp, like if we're looking for an entry to come down like this, I'm using this over here, liquidity, as a confluence. I'm like, okay, if I'm looking for price to come down further, then this is going to meet my criteria, because if that's the case, then I'm going to be looking for price to actually reach this target price point right here, right? So we don't have that yet, but we are still looking for a confirmation of trend. So looking at the pivots over here, we're looking for these pivots here to shift. So if you look over here at this red pivot, we need this red pivot to be above all the other pivots. Once it's above all the other pivots, we'll have a bearish trend. The trend meter down below just turned red. So it just became red right now. It's not necessarily, this doesn't mean it's going to stay red, but once the pivots here shift, we can be more trustworthy that this is going to stay bearish. Right now, it hasn't shifted yet. So that's going to be the first thing that we're looking for here. We're looking for this here to shift. Once it shifts and we're going to have a bearish trend, then we can look for price to come down, retrace, and continue lower. And that's where we can make our entry for a sell. We don't have it yet, but it is setting up. So it's still not there yet. The red pivot's starting to it's getting closer and closer, but it has not confirmed yet. So, just a matter of time until it does. Once it does, we'll start looking for that entry. Let's take a look at sentiment. Sentiment's still right. It's pretty flat still. 54% long. Not really much has changed there. Looking over here at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are slightly below. They're now bearish. Not very strong, but they are still bearish. So bearish, let's say 106 points. We'll see if it holds. Technicals over here, now bearish. So we do have a bearish bias now. One thing to keep in mind. Currently have a bearish bias. Looking at the pivots have now shifted. So we do have a bearish trend. So we have a bearish trend with regards to the pivots and the trend meter. We're now looking for a sell here. So what we're looking for at this point is we're looking for price to come down slightly, retrace up. Once it retraces up, we're going to look for the continuation back down. So we have price down below here. We need this to shift back up. Once it shifts back up, we'll be looking for a possible entry for a sell. So, all right, guys, you just got to wait. Just got to be a little patient. And we will be looking for that entry here for a sell. Let me measure this. I think price might be a little overextended, but we'll see if we do get a pullback at some point. Price is kind of consolidating around here, so it might be shifting slightly. So it's still fine. It's currently right now at 800 pips. So if we do get that retracement right here, we may have opportunity for entry right here at this level here at the 10. So we're looking for a green candle. Once we get a green candle, the next level for entry is going to be at the next 10, which is going to be right here at 34,110. Mark up some more levels down here. 70, 60, 50, 40. Nice. Maddie said that he caught the high low. There's a high low that just came up. I think right there. Yeah, up above this area over here. So let me measure this again. I think price might be getting a little bit on the overextended side. It's getting a little close to that overextension right here. All right, so price ends up pulling from right here where it's currently at. So if it closes below this black line here, the entry is going to be right here at the 100. If it closes above this, above the line, the entry is going to be right here. But at this point, I think this is going to be a little risky, in my opinion, because the candle right here is kind of big. This might be it might be setting up for reversal. There's no V1 there, so let's see where this closes. We have about 20 seconds left on this candle. So again, if it closes below this black line right here, entry would be right there at the 10 mark or at the 100 mark. If it closes above, the entry technically would be here at the 10 mark. Maddie said there's news coming up shortly. We have news right here. Oh, actually, okay, I'm going to hold off on that, guys, because we have news right here in 4 minutes. It's medium impact. Thanks, Maddie, for the heads up. I didn't realize that there was news today at 7:30. I forgot. Okay, so it's a little too late. I don't know if anybody caught it, but the entry did come up right there and it went straight to TP already. I didn't take it because of the news coming up at 7:30, but it played out perfect. So I don't know if anybody caught the trade there. And like literally, like as soon as it closed right here, it came up, filled it, went straight to TP. So if you guys followed my analysis right there, I said if the green candle closes below the black line, your entry would be here at the 100. If it closed above, it would be here at the 10. It closed below it. So as soon as it closed, it filled the order right here and went straight to TP. Yeah, I forgot there was news here at 7:30, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize that there was news at 7:30. It was medium impact. So it's probably something that I would personally avoid. But yeah, I went straight to TP if anybody caught it. Nice. Yeah, so Maria caught it. Daniel said he had it set, but it didn't fill. Yeah, it looks like it might have moved too fast. Siobhan said that he heard risk and he backed off. Yeah, it's probably best decision to back off. I mean, like I mentioned, guys, Mondays and Fridays are the riskier days. We're still early in the trading week, so we have a whole week ahead of us. There's no need to force anything right now, because the last thing you want to do is dig yourself a hole and then have to climb out of it for the rest of the week. Miguel said Forex Factory does not show that news. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't have it on Forex Factory, Miguel. So I typically use both. I use Forex Factory and I use my FX book. Yeah, because I feel like my FX book is a little more, they're a little more detailed with the news events. And it's still coming up right here in 2 minutes. But Forex Factory has been like the go-to. So we've been using Forex Factory for a long time. So that's why I still use them. But I know it doesn't show up on here, which is weird. It should show up because it's medium impact news. I think with Forex Factory, they focus more so on like Forex news. That's why it's not necessarily a lot of it's not as wide as my FX book. Because the thing is with my FX book, they're tied in with Forex.com, which is if you guys know the broker, it's a US broker that we used to use. So they have a lot more data with like US stuff. So if you want to use my FX book, I think my FX book is probably better, but we still use Forex Factory as another resource. So guys, the intro right here hit. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch it, so I can't count this as the trade. The only trades that I count are the ones that I actually take. So even though this trade here did hit, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I'm not going to count it. I'm not here to pad any of the trades, because I mean, we're doing pretty great for the year so far. So I don't need to pad any trades to begin with. But I'm sure, somebody mentioned that to me, like with some other group that they're in. So like one of the members in our group, he mentioned that he came from a different group, and he said that the guy, like the person who ran that group, basically he would call trades, but then he wouldn't take them, and then he would still count them. And then that's what we call padding. Like you pad your results because you're too scared to take a trade, but you still want them to count when they win. So for me, I'm not going to count this trade. This trade did hit, but I'm not going to count it because we don't need to pad it. I mean, if you guys have looked at our results for the year so far, we're doing pretty great. So for this year so far, up until August, we have 154 wins, 21 losses, total profit of 23,000 pips, total win-loss ratio of 88%. So even if I was to take a loss here, it's not going to hit our win-loss ratio very much, because we did so good early in the year that, even if I was to have losses here towards the end of the year, it's not going to make a big deal to our overall win-loss ratio. So I just find it funny. I find it funny when a lot of you guys, because majority of you guys here are from different groups. So a lot of you guys find me like later on in your trading career, which is completely fine. But a lot of you guys come from different groups, and you guys mentioned how these other groups operate. And I always find it funny how stuff like that happens. But I mean, it happens, it's a trading space. If you guys have been in the trading space as long as I have, I've been trading for over 10 years now. I've been in and out of groups myself, and I've never found a good group. That's why I created my own group, and here we are. It's like the trading space is really scammy, guys. So be careful who you guys learn trading from. And if you go on YouTube, there's just a lot of you just see everybody exposing everybody now, and it's crazy. A lot of people who I used to watch their videos before, it's just people exposing everybody now. They're like, it's crazy. It's so much, there's so much drama in the trading space. And that's why I want to stay under the radar, because I don't really care for all the drama. I just want to make profit. And that's my main goal. My main goal here is to make as much profit as possible and to take you guys along with the ride, because you guys see I trade here live every day. So, whether I don't do signals anymore, I'm just live trading. So I'll try to make as much profit as possible on my end trading, and you guys are free to piggyback on my moves as well, because I'm basically telling you guys exactly what I'm doing. So if you guys see what I'm doing here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to enter this trade applying this strategy, you guys can just piggyback off all my trades. I mean, it's a win-win for all of us, really, because we're just scalping here. It's like quick in and out moves. It's not like I'm telling you guys like a swing move where I'm like, hey, take this trade and then hold on to it for like a couple months, because it's crazy. I can't imagine holding a trade that long. Let's see. Randy said sometimes Forex Factory news marks it up as low impact, and my FX book marks it up as medium of higher importance, never the other way around. So he stopped using Forex Factory because of that, rather not trade around news anyways. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Andy. That's why I started using my FX book, because their marking of importance is like way different. I'd rather be more careful than not careful, right? Because I've noticed that too with Forex Factory. So eventually, we might phase out Forex Factory. It's just we've been using Forex Factory for like years now. I think for like 5 or 6 years. So it's kind of hard to just let it go when it's been so useful to us over those previous years. But this is obviously the one thing that you want to keep in mind too, Randy, is that my FX book is down a lot. So when this is down, you have to revert back to Forex Factory. So I think over the year, we've seen this website down like at least like 5 or 6 times, and we can't check the news. So it's always useful to have a second source just in case. Anyways, looking at current price, guys, this momentum signal was already used from this last entry. So we had the last entry that came up. Where's it at? So we had the last entry that came up right here. So this momentum signal is no longer useful for us. We have to wait for another momentum signal to come up. So right now, we just don't have anything for us to take at the moment. So what I need to happen here is we need price to provide another buy signal. So I need a buy signal for price to come up, then another sell signal. And then once it comes down, retracement, and then we'll look for entry as price continues to climb down from there. The thing that I started to notice from this here, from our pattern, is we're kind of identifying, it's basically an M pattern. For a lot of people who like to trade patterns, what we're looking for is basically an M pattern, or the pattern that we're kind of looking for as well as like, it's a new high-low pattern that kind of comes up. So I don't really trade patterns at all, but what people have been mentioning to me lately is like, the trade that we're looking for is we're either looking for half of a head and shoulders, because that's kind of what happens here, right? We get a buy signal, price goes a sell signal, retrace, and our entry happens. Like our entry happens like right here, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, this is like part of an M pattern. I'm like, okay, if that's what you see, then yeah, call it an M pattern. But for me personally, I don't really like to use patterns. So some people are like, oh, this looks like an M pattern. And some people are like, oh, this looks like a half head and shoulders, like in the opposite direction. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you guys see, then use it as that. For me personally, I don't like to overcomplicate it. I just call it the momentum pullback scalp, because that's what I call it. But yeah, if you guys see something and you have a better name for it, use whatever name you want to use for it, whether it's an M pattern, whether CSIP here wants to call it a dog pattern. It's really up to your preference. Everyone can have your own specific name for it, but we're still looking at the same thing. So, all right, price here is correcting back up. I wouldn't be surprised if price comes right back up and retests the opening price right here at the blue line. Let's go back to the clean chart. So you guys check out these fake outs right here. So you guys see this, the zones you drew earlier. So there's a fake out right here. It came back to opening price. You can see another fake out right here. Where do you think price is going to go? Back to opening price probably, right? So there's a lot of fake outs today, as you guys can see. I can see a lot of people getting their accounts blown, because I know a lot of people tried to probably chase the sell right here. They probably thought price was dumping, but they're not really looking at two sides of the coin. There's always two sides of the coin. If you guys are looking for a sell here, so for example, I can see a lot of people who probably got stopped out right here, right? You guys see this big drop right here? If you guys are taking these trades like mindlessly and you're just chasing the drop, like, I'm assuming if someone took the sell right here, their stop loss would be above this zone, right? Look where price is currently at now. They just got stopped out, right? So just be careful with like how you guys trade. Like, I'm going to try to be as careful as possible with you guys, and I'm going to give you guys as much of an insight to the market, because I've been trading for so long that I know exactly how these patterns play out. I already warned you guys about this before it even happened. When price is over here, remember when price is back here? It wasn't that long ago. This was like 30 minutes ago. So about 30 minutes ago, I mentioned, look out for the fake outs up here and for price to come back to open, and then look out for the fake outs down here and for it to come back up, right? So I pretty much told you guys, this is a pattern that tends to play out. We've seen this pattern play out a lot of times. It's not like I knew this was going to happen. I just had to watch out for this. And that's exactly what played out, right? Price came up, faked out right there, came back down to open. Came back right there, faked out. Where'd it go? Back to open. Right? Price came down to this point. What happened from here? Faked out. Where's he going? Back to open. So I didn't predict this stuff. I just kind of, it's the same pattern that plays out. So this is why I always recommend that you guys focus on just one asset. Like I've been trading US30 for like 6 or 7 years now with you guys live every day. So like trading with you guys live every day has helped me really see these patterns. Like I just see this stuff without even really thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I have these 2 zones drawn out. It's probably gonna be a fake out. There's probably gonna be a fake out down here. So I'm gonna be careful when price gets outside this area, because what a lot of people are looking for is they're looking for price to continue outside of it, right? This is what I mentioned earlier too. I said, this is what we're waiting for price to continue out of it. But you can see from here, price never really continued out of it. It just faked out. So just be smart about your trades, guys. I'm always looking out for your guys' best interest. I don't want you guys to like lose any trades or blow any accounts. If I'm telling you it's risky for a reason. And if I'm not trading, like if I'm not taking any entries, there's a reason behind it. Like I'm not trying to lose any trades. So it's 7:37 right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, it looks like the market is kind of slowing down a little bit. It's still moving. So if we see some entries here, we still have about like, let's see, we have like 23 minutes until 8. So we still have time in the market. It's just not very, very consistent. So what I'll do here now is I'll just take individual screenshots of my profits for the day. And then if you guys have profits to share, go ahead and post them in the group. Looks like we got some more profits over here. We have Barty said done scalping for the day, learning market structure, helping him a lot. Thank God. So Barty over here locked in 4,950 for the day. Nice work, Barty. So solid profits right there. I'm going to go ahead and take individual screenshots of my profits. And then if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll still be looking for entries here, but I'm looking for a sell signal. So once I get a sell signal here, I can start looking for price to come back down, retrace, and provide me opportunity for an entry. But until we get that sell signal, there's not going to be any entry for us available yet. So it's got to sit tight and wait for it. But at the moment, I'm going to take these individual screenshots of my profits. So my first account is the funded engineer. Second account is my FTMO. All right, 200K FTMO. My second funded engineer. Personal account. And my TFF. TFF locking the same. All right. So we still don't have that sell signal yet, guys. Hopefully it comes up soon. But here goes my individual accounts. All right, so we have a pending sell signal right here, guys. If this closes, then we can possibly look for a sell. You can see price starting to consolidate here a little bit, not a big deal. But yeah, here are my individual profits for the day. So here's my funded engineer account locked in 850. Here is my FTMO account, first one locked in 1,110. Here is my second FTMO account locked in 1,110 as well. Here is my 200K FTMO account locked at 2020. Here is my funded engineer account, second one, total profit of 420. This is my first personal account locked in 357. My second personal account, 357. My TFF locked in 1,000, and then my second TFF locked in 1,000 as well. So those are all my profits for the day so far, and for the week so far. I'm using two different personal accounts because I'm trying to test out which one pays better. One of them is a raw account, one of them is a spread account. It looks like it's pretty much the same, but for me personally, I'd probably go with the raw account, because the raw spread account, because I'd rather pay a higher commission and get out of my position when I'm supposed to, rather than have to cover the spread. So I got two personal accounts right now. They both have 10,000 in them, or they had like 9,000. They're now at 10,000, so I keep winning on them. Obviously, the profits multiply. So I think with my I think at the end of the month, I'll probably withdraw like 1,000 from my personal account so I can confirm whether they're reliable or not. I mean, it's different. Sometimes for a lot of these unregulated companies, if you withdraw like say 1,000 or 5,000, it's not a big deal. Once you go past that, like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, it becomes an issue. So that's the reason why I stopped using Hugo's Way. I had an issue with Hugo's Way with the withdrawal process. I tried to make a big withdrawal and I had an issue with them. I got the money, but it took a long time. I started using Hanko Trade. Hanko Trade, it's good if you're using it as your main account, but it's not good as a copier. So I stopped using them. I think their spreads got too wide. And then now I'm on Hero FX. So once I confirm that they're good, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably make a withdrawal with them at the end of the, let me see. So I have two accounts with them. So my first account, the original one, I'm up 3,500. So maybe I'll withdraw 1,000 out of that one just to see how the withdrawal process is. And then for this one over here, probably at the end of the month, I'll withdraw 1,000 as well. So that's kind of what happened with my Hugo's Way. With the Hugo's Way, I used to withdraw like every week so that I wouldn't have to make the big withdrawals, but then I just forgot about it. And then I had to make like a 20K withdrawal, and it wasn't really a nightmare, but it was kind of just scary because they were kind of giving me the runaround. And I was worried I was going to get the money out. So after that, I was like, I'm not going to use them anymore. All right, we have a pending sell signal right here at 744, guys. Volatility is very low though, so I don't know if we'll have an entry. Unfortunately, it looks like the ATR is currently at 14, so it's not looking too great. But yeah, if you guys have any profits to send in, or if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. Today, I was thinking about having a mentoring session. I don't know if you guys want me to have one. I haven't had one. I probably had one like 2 weeks ago. So I've been having mentoring sessions like every other week. If you guys want a mentoring session, just let me know and I'll host it for you. I know I'm technically supposed to have a mentoring session once a week, but since we haven't really had many strategies or anything new that we're covering, there's not really a need for a mentoring session. But since we're now looking at adding 2 more strategies to the open, that's something that I can cover for you guys. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys want me to cover, I'll have the mentoring session today. So today at 2 o'clock, our regular scheduled mentoring session for Mondays. So today, 2 o'clock at Pacific time, Siobhan and William. Yeah, if you guys want to come, feel free. I'll go over the new spreadsheets. I'll also update the Discord. So I have 2 new spreadsheets here for the intraday scalp strategy. This is the first strategy that I've ever taught you guys. Like, you're just matching the momentum signal with the trend meter. It's super simple. So I'll be going over this. I pretty much did the data for like just the first entry on open at 6:30, and then also another spreadsheet here with the high-level momentum scalp strategy. So I'll go over that stuff there, and then we'll, obviously we'll discuss it. So let me check I don't think this one here played out. Yeah, let me go over here real quick. I'm just gonna I need to document that trade from earlier today. The high level momentum scalp that came up. So it looks like none of them like really hit today, except for the one that we took earlier this morning. So this right here, it looks like it got faked out. It literally just came, hit stop loss, and then it came right back down to its TP. So probably a good thing that we didn't take it. This has been happening a lot today. So if this is the case, guys, you guys might want to be careful trading this week because, I mean, for the obvious reason here, there's a lot of fake outs. Price will come up, hit your stop loss, then come straight to your TP. So I'm going to go and just update the spreadsheet over here for the for this specific entry. So today's 9/25/23. The entry happened over here at 7:03. It was for a sell. It was a loss, negative 270 points or pips. Re-entry. All right, so got that out the way. Looking at this here, guys, the sell signal never came up. You guys can see prices just consolidating here now. There's not really too much going on. Let's go over to the clean chart. So you can see prices just consolidating within the zone right there. There's not really too much going on. This is really tricky because there's one of two things that are going to happen. So again, like I mentioned before, there's two scenarios that can play out from here. Price will either come back down and continue dropping, or it's going to come back up and retest the opening price right there. So just something to keep in mind, guys. So let me just copy this over real quick. If there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, it's 7:48 right now. It's getting close to 8 o'clock, so we might be wrapping this up pretty soon. It's just really up to preference if you guys have anything that you guys want me to cover, but I will be having the mentoring session today, so we'll be covering that stuff more in detail as we get down to that point. So put some updates right here. This is Funded Engineer 1. And TMO 1. TMO 2. Three. Funded Engineer 2. Personal account 1. Personal account 2. TFF 1. And TFF 2. All right, yeah, so we don't have a sell signal here. I don't think we're going to have any entries from now until 8 o'clock. But yeah, just a reminder, guys, today we're going to have our mentoring session at 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, there were no official entries for today. There was one official entry that came up right here for the momentum pullback scalp. However, there was news at 7:30, so we didn't take the trade, unfortunately. It did play out perfect and went straight to TP. Some people got it, some people didn't. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. I didn't catch it myself, so it was too quick of a move and I missed it completely. The only trade that I took today was a partial of the momentum, or sorry, the intraday scalp. Okay, so we have price coming back down right here. We have the sell signal that's currently pending. If it closes, we still need the ATR to pick up. So we may have one more entry lined up here towards the end. But we'll see if this here picks up with the ATR. So we have a current sell signal. If this here closes, we need price to drop a bit lower, retrace up, and continue from there. If that happens, then there's going to be a possible entry. If it doesn't happen, then I don't expect much to happen here. It's probably just going to keep ranging from now until 8 o'clock. So yeah, if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. I mean, as of now, I don't see any other questions here. Again, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure that you guys are part of the Discord because everything is listed here. So if you guys are new to the Discord, make sure you go to Kodi Kai Trades up here, click on show all channels. I know PC had a question earlier this morning asking if like the spreadsheets were put somewhere else, but they're all in the same area right here. So you just go up here to Kodi Kai Trades, click on show all channels, and then from here, it'll drop the channels for everything here. So if you just join, this is where you'll start at. Make sure if you guys haven't made an introduction, make an introduction here. This is how you'll meet everybody in the group. And then from here, you'll scroll down. We have all the strategies listed right here. All the announcements listed right here. If you're in the premium, all the Zoom links are posted right here. Live trading sessions, mentoring sessions, trading results. The official profits are going to be all of my profits here. So if you scroll over here, you can see all of my profits every single day here posted. And then if you have team profits, a share of your own, this is where you'll be sharing your profits. If you guys scroll up here, it has everybody's profits from since we started the group. So a ton of profits right there. Kevin over here, nice for Kevin. So Kevin took no trades today. Smart move. If the market's not giving you what you need, there's no need to force anything. Just get out of the market, come back tomorrow, come back fresh, and then repeat the process. So again, if you guys scroll down here, we have the trading journal category. All of my live trades that I've taken officially here on the live session have been listed here. If you click on this Google sheet, it'll pull up the spreadsheet here with all of my live trades from January 2023 up until September 2023. I'm starting to document 2022 trades, but I'm just going to do this on the side when I have some free time. But yeah, I'm documenting the 2022 trades as well. Other than that, we have two other spreadsheets here with the breakout V2, and then for the momentum counter scalp, if you guys want to look at that, that's also listed right here. Momentum counter scalp, 86% win rate, and then also for the breakout V2, it's currently at a 57% win rate right now. They're all 1-to-1 strategy, so as long as they're above 50%, they'll be profitable for you guys. So that's the key thing. So I'm looking for like one of these strategies each on open, because this will help us really determine, what we're going to be using moving forward, since we're more focused on just trading between 6:30 and 8. So we have that, the intraday scalp that I'm testing, and then also the high-low momentum scalp as well. So a lot of good entries here for you guys to look at. And we'll be covering this stuff during the mentoring session. Here's a picture from Kevin. So big congrats to Kevin over here. Kevin just got married over the weekend. So he's here at his wedding venue, it looks like, trading with us, taking his time out of his day. So nice work, Kevin. Still logging on for this, and congrats to you and Carla with your wedding over the weekend. Other than that, I think that's about it, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to reach out. You guys are more than welcome to message me. Again, if you guys are not in the Discord yet, make sure that you get on the Discord, guys, because we're shifting from Telegram to Discord. So starting on October 1st, I'm not going to be posting in the Telegram anymore. I'll have a warning here and I'll have a link to the Discord so that you guys can migrate over. The problem with the Telegram is that it's very unorganized and there's a lot of like scam bots on Telegram. So we're moving over to Discord over here. It's a little more organized, but it's a lot more organized, and I'm able to manage it a bit better with looking at who's entering and exiting the group. So yeah, guys, if you guys are not part of the Discord, I'll post a link up on there again later. Also, mentoring session, I'll post up the link on the Discord and the Telegram. So, all right, guys, it's 7:54 right now. We currently have a sell momentum signal. If this does retrace back up, there's going to be a possible entry. However, the ATR is currently at 13 right now, so it's not really a good time for you guys to take any entries. It's probably best to just sit out and wait for the market to pick up, or if not, just close up for the day, come back tomorrow when the volatility is back up. So, all right, guys, other than that, if I don't see you guys later at the mentoring session today, again, the mentoring session is at 2 p.m. Pacific time. If I don't see you guys then, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys back.